your home, your business, whatever organization that you have to work at, live at, would you feel healthy enough to stay there while they're reconstructing where you live, where you work? Would you sit in the next room while they're next door breaking down walls, buildings, spray painting, smoking? I just want to know from whoever that's honest, would y'all stay in y'all apartment like that? Would y'all stay in y'all office like that? I don't think that it's sanitary for not even adults, children, animals for that matter, to live in this type of environment. We've been living here for years upon years. We do the proper procedures and we get no results. Today, I'm just here to find results. I really don't want to hear we'll get to it, because that's what I've been hearing for years. I'm really not satisfied to hear, oh, we'll have somebody call you. I'm really not here for that today. What I'm here for is results. We're in front of the city council. That should hold some type of weight. When are we going to start seeing our results? Why do we still have to be subject to these matters? They're coming doing little by little when they need big. You have to start big in order to get, you have to start little in order to get big, and our problem has gotten huge. So where does it stop? I just need that answer. And also, I would love for somebody to tell me, would they stay in their home or office? They have to live like this.
He said no.
Period. We shouldn't even have to be there while they're doing anything. We should have no knowledge until we come back and see new things, a new beginning. We shouldn't have to stay there while they're doing demolition work, period. Right. Nobody is not suitable for even pets. So let alone adults and kids, children, how they gonna have a chance in society playing basketball, football, anything like that if they diagnosed with asthma at 3 years old? They have no life. I mean, they have a life, but they have no fresh start like y'all kids. We shouldn't be inhaling this type of stuff. You got people that was born with asthma, such as myself. The next step might be, God forbid, I probably can't take another smell of nothing. So why do I have to live here like that? Bombs, spray, feces, urine. I have to walk past this every single day while I'm up there paying big rent and still have to see this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anybody else wishing to address the council? I do so at this time.
Hi, I'm Shakira Jones from 200 Parker Road, apartment 4G. I have 2 little kids, and I heard about the asbestos problem. Now, I know that's like, that's a health hazard or whatever, and I don't want my kids to grow up with that. I feel as though I should, like, we all should be relocated, like, you know, really.
Until they finish doing what they gotta do. Why do we have to sit here?
And the building that they knocked down, the smell was horrendous. Like, it was a smell coming out of it, and it didn't smell too, kosher. So, yeah, they were spraying like water and stuff on it, but the smell, the debris was everywhere, like getting in my eyes and everything when I walked. So I feel as though y'all should really think about it. Like, these are kids, even though we might not have what y'all have, but kids are innocent. Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to address city council that has not spoken already? Name and address for the record.
My children live at 220 Parker Road.
Where do you live?
I come to visit, but it's still the fact
Well,
that
we
my
need your
kids-
name and address for the record.
Oh, my name Don Jones, but I
Okay.
live in
And
Midtown.
your address, since you don't reside at there.
619 Magnolia Ave.
Okay. Thank you.
But anyway, when I come visit my kids, they got a lot of problems with the police riding up on the grass. My children shouldn't have to run and know what a ram is because they're intimidated by this truck that comes up on the grass. And
The cars too.
They know mostly that truck. And they come up on that grass and you got my kids running talking about, that go to ram, and it shouldn't be that way.
I'm sorry.
Oh, like I was saying, they're intimidated by that truck, and they see this, and as they growing up, they feel as though they got to run from the police because of this truck or whatever the case may be. They just take off and run, talking about here come the ram, and they only 4, and they shouldn't have to run like that.
Sorry. Be in danger of almost
Any,
getting hit.
anybody else that hasn't spoken that would like to address city council? Do so at this time.
My name is Evan Morris, I'm at 217 East 4th Avenue, and I'm going to be brief. I just would like to reiterate, like what a couple of people just said. The living conditions are deplorable there. They're deplorable there. I have several relatives that I come to visit, and just last Friday, I keep hearing that this Officer Nico's guy is not supposed to be up there, but for some reason, for some godforsaken reason, he keeps making his way up there. He specifically told me that if I was outside talking to a person that's a leaseholder, that doesn't constitute a visit if I'm not in an apartment. He told me if I didn't leave in 20 minutes, that means I want to be locked up. I mean, how much aggravation and harassment does the person have to undergo? I mean,
Well, we can't come outside without family.
You can't walk down the store. I just saw you by this building. I even saw the councilman the other day, and he caught me by surprise because he remembered me before I remember him. And it's like you literally being tormented. When he went to go shake my hand, I cringed because I didn't know who he was. He had on just jeans and shirt, and I just thought he was an undercover cop. You just get tired of harassment and abuse. When does it want to stop? No, my point is, again, we went through that last time. It's just always like, okay, yeah. Like just falling on deaf ears. You tell your story, and then you go ahead back to your clinical conditions, and that's it. There's nobody that says, I understand,
His interest and he got them feeling all sluggish. They ain't nobody. It's just everybody just here. Nobody ain't saying nothing.
It's like to no avail. Nothing. I don't see any.
No, he's gonna tell you when he's done. Everybody get 3 minutes.
Meet us halfway. Besides
Talk about the condition.
Like we just all speaking, just to speak, nothing being said. Just a nod or a blank stare, like well, this is what the inside of City Hall looks like. Let's get real.
Okay, anybody else wishing to address city council, you may do so. Your name and address for the record.
My name is Gina Sanin. I live in 200 Parker Road with my grandmother. Her name is Felicita Silvestre. And our living conditions are really horrible. We live in a house where there's mold everywhere. My bathroom isn't fixed. And my wall have a hole in it. They didn't sheetrock my house. It's just the whole house is... you can't live in it when you see it, and you tell these people every day to come fix the house, but they never do. When you try, and I have bed bugs in this house too. I have bed bugs in the house. I have spiders. I have roaches. I have mice, and they're not doing anything.
How often your mom go to the hospital?
And my mom and my grandmother go to the hospital often because she has breathing conditions from the mold, and it's from the mold of the house. If we want something done, then we have to call these people, but they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. No matter how many times you call, they're not doing anything.
She has a rash.
And she has a rash because of the bed bugs.
About the hole you can see to the basement.
You can see the hole in my room. You could actually literally see the basement. The hole in my room, you could actually see the basement. I have a hole in my bathroom wall. You can see the basement from up here and down here. The tiles are coming out. The sink is about to fall down.
You could just fall right in.
Yeah.
Go ahead and fall in it.
Take pictures.
We took pictures. We got pictures.
That's just
We got pictures.
fall in it.
And her apartment is not the only one. A lot of people complaining as well.
And this is my mother, y'all. And
That's
she
where the
sees
bed
my
bugs
apartment.
come from.
She was about to move in.
In the walls.
Yeah, she was about to move in the apartment. They were assigned to her. But until she saw the mold, she decided not to move in because she said how these people are living. It's not really a condition where tenants are supposed to live. It's not really a condition where anybody else is supposed to live. While they're getting rent money, and swear to God, if we are late with the rent, you pay late fee. But when you call them to come fix a problem in our house, we'll put in a work order. We're putting in a work order, and they never come.
It take days before they show up.
Months.
Also,
Never.
Well, you have to let somebody else speak. You've spoken already, okay? It's just the rules. You guys gotta understand. We have rules here that I have to follow. And me as president, I can be, excuse me, Councilman Mazza. And me as president, I have an obligation to run this meeting a certain way. So I have to run it by those rules and regulations. You have 3 minutes to speak. There's a half an hour public speaking session, and that's just the way the rules run. Unfortunately, They're not supposed to speak. I'm the one that's supposed to speak at the end after everybody speaks and says something. You know, okay? So I'm just trying to get you to understand this is the process and this is how it works. And at the end, we'll say a few things in terms of some of the things that we've been trying to do to you after whoever, finishes last.
Finish?
Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Okay. Well, you've already spoken. I need to let somebody else
No,
speak.
finish.
I want to ask a question.
You need to give somebody else an opportunity to speak.
He not finished.
Yeah,
want a question.
she's not done.
Honey, what question do you want? I'll write it down here. I'll say it.
And my grandma, she's sickly. Every time, like I have friends here that see my grandma comes out the hospital all the time, and it's from the mold and inhaling all that stuff. And plus, we have bed bugs, roaches, and mice. The home health aide is scared to come in the house because she heard that we have bed bugs, and they only spray one time. Like one time is really gonna do anything. And plus, like I said, my apartment is nowhere for a person to live.
Exterminator said they're in the walls.
And they're in the one, and she's been in that apartment since 2008. We've been living there for August 2008. We've been living there for a while.
They never sprayed until when she,
I want to give somebody else an opportunity to speak on whatever issues they may have.
3 minutes was up?
Anybody?
Sean Besson, 1063 Bond Street. I guess I can speak for everybody when I say this. The buildings need to be condemned. We don't want nothing fixed no more. You're not going to fix nothing no more. We don't want nothing fixed. Don't come by there come clean. Don't have nobody come fix a light, nothing. It's over. It's done. It's corroded from in and out. It's over. And then another thing, you're not covering up the specimens that's outside from the construction they've been doing out there. Me and my partner here, Kareem, we worked with this company. We both got sick behind this. We both sick. I got worse. I can't even breathe certain times of night. I gotta use nasal spray. I gotta use a pump. This happened over the time I've been doing this. Now, whether you show interest or not for our people, we're still gonna be in your face.
That's right.
We're still gonna be there. We can't come and break the numbers. You just didn't do it tonight. You gave us a room. Listen, hold on. You gave us a room that we were gonna be in a tighter room. You gave us a room. You gave us a room out there that we were gonna be in a tighter room. So we bought enough to fit this room.
You gotta understand, this is where we normally meet for this meeting, and we have to put this in the newspapers and advertise it.
Okay.
So this is why we're meeting here. This is where we normally meet.
Can you put
All
it
right.
for,
The next
for
meeting-
another meeting now?
Well, we will. It's every 2 weeks.
The next meeting is to be in the other room, okay? So we alternate rooms. We didn't
Another
do it
thing,
just because...
the brutality, it didn't stop. It didn't stop. The police brutality didn't stop. It didn't even slow down as much. They're still out there taunting. They're still riding by up and down the street, giving people tickets, park cars, for just anything. They're just doing anything they can think of other than, some guy got jumped. We're investigating that right now. About 4 nights ago in the back. Cops came back there and beat this one guy up. Nobody knows who this guy is just yet, but they heard about it. Other witnesses throughout the departments heard everything. So we looking that up, and I'll bring that to your attention with the names and everything, with the cops. I'm talking about the officers that done it.
And the cops was pulling them out, putting them in the cop car last week.
You got all this brutality still going on. You didn't kick up on that yet.
Think it's funny to ride.
We need you to kick up on that. Leave us alone. They have a job. They know what they're doing. They know who's a drug dealer and who ain't. But they rather attack everybody. That's what.
And to attack certain other people.
You black, you attack.
That's basically it. Nobody's just not saying this. He was there. He saw these buildings too. He saw everything. He went up the stairs. They cut the office cut the elevator off on him because they didn't want him to take the stairs. He felt like he wouldn't take the steps. Thank God he had the energy that day. He just took everything. He wanted to go up and down the stairs. We took pictures of everything.
He came into
We
my
have records
apartment
of
too.
everything, medical records,
Should have brung them
right along with pictures from people's apartments. You got some people apartments. He witnessed this. I stood there with him while we took the pictures. They don't have a ceiling in their room. There's no ceilings. There's bugs. You need to come see it yourself.
mushrooms growing.
I'm serious. You need to come. The president. You should come.
At nighttime.
I mean, if you see this yourself, maybe you'll show a little more interest in what's going on here. You need to see it yourself.
Come spend 24 hours in one of them empty apartments.
Pray to God a bug don't jump on you or anything like that. But you should come see it. This is what we gotta live with every day and night. Okay?
And what we gotta breathe in, and what we gotta take in.
The mold is out of everything. The breathing is you can't even breathe. You had all the taxpayers come across the street the date of demolition. I can show you pictures off of camera now. I'm gonna have everything printed out for you the next meeting. We have records of everything that's wrong that's going on over there. Nobody's playing no more, okay? condemn the building. We don't want no more meetings with you. We don't want any of this. You think we want to look at you? We don't want to look at you as much as you don't want to look at us. Trust me. We don't even want to know you guys. We don't. But we want to live right. We deserve that.
We need some solutions.
Right? You think we want to come here? People don't want to come here. They got families. You ain't want to come here, but we know what we got to do now. And there's tons more of us. Okay? We'll be here, no matter how it looks.
We
Okay?
get signs on the steps out here.
We try not to prevent all that, but if you deal with it now, you help us out here now, then, we'll hopefully not have to come to all that, okay?
Okay. Anybody else wasn't to address to the council? Your name and address for the record.
My name is Captain Kincaid. I live in 200, 3R. And for about 2 years now, my electrical wiring, I can't use a lot of my sockets or the hall lights. The bathroom sockets, I can't use it. They spark if we use it. They came and fixed one about a week ago. Went to use it again, it blows out the lights. So they told me to just cover it up and don't use them.
Wow.
I'm sorry. They open the ceiling fan over the table. They open that, the wires crumble in their hand. They told me don't use it. But that's the light that's supposed to be over your dining table. But they tell me don't use it. Water is in my kitchen light. Drips. Comes down through the light, by the light, all the way going down the hall. They tell me don't use the light switches.
Can I say one thing?
I've been telling them this for a while.
Give her the question, because she didn't go yet.
29 years.
I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't go yet? All right, wait till she's done.
I just wanted to know.
Anybody? Yeah, just stand up, your name and address for the record. You can speak.
Marshall Milliner, 230 Parker Road. I just want to say just one thing. What's taking them so long? I mean, like, what's so hard for them just to give us the Section 8? Like,
They had it already, they stole it. It was 200 vouchers that came out.
Couple of them got sold.
no, I'm saying, but can't
Yeah,
you
we
just
know.
print some more?
We know, they know too.
Section 8?
They know.
It's not that easy?
Yes, I don't think it's that simple.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's simple enough for them to sell them to people too. They sold people vouchers.
Go home, Miss Wallace. Go home, baby.
Tighten up. So bad.
Yes, good evening. My name is Adrian Wallace, and I live in Parker 28. I've listened to everybody's complaints. I've lived there the longest. Kathy would verify that. I understand that you're city council, and I understand that you're trying to get in touch with Oakwood Plaza or CIS so that we can have a meeting. Because in my heart, I truly believe you cannot give us an answer. You cannot tell us what needs to be done. We need to actually be in front of these people, and we need to have a meeting with them. As I stated before, I have called on my lunch hour, and I work. I have I've taken days off to try to get in touch with Miss Foglio. I've talked to her secretary. She will tell me she's in a meeting. Here's my number. Please have her call me back. I will wait all day, and I do not hear anything from her. Even on my answer machine, I will call back and say, if she doesn't want to talk to me, that's fine. She can talk to my box. We all talk to a Mickey Mouse box when we try to get some information. She can leave it on the answer machine. That's not a problem. Just we need to have a meeting. The last meeting that we had, they told us so much that is so bogus. They stated, we're going to come in, we got grant money, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to fix up 2 buildings, but the rest of the buildings are going to get torn down. We got grant money, and we're going to put pipes in so that you guys can have heat or whatever the case may be. Where did the grant money go? Where did the pipes go? That's another thing.
In a pocket?
Also, Mr. Carlos Cedeno, Councilman Patricia, and Grover, they've been at Oakwood Plaza, and I, for one, would love to hear what they have to say.
We all would. We all would. Maybe they'll listen.
They too are taxpayers. They too have a voice. They too have a word. And I feel as though that would be enough weight to help us to move CIS to have a meeting with us. That's what I feel. That's what I believe. Because truly, I don't think you can do anything for us. That's my opinion for what it's worth.
Anybody else was to address to the council? At this time?
Please, you got something to say?
What? No, that, but I
Oh, yeah.
can't go in my bathroom.
Lisa, come in.
We gotta take turns, okay? What, sorry, name and address again for the record?
Maurice
Berry, 15 Warren Street, Roselle. I've visited a lot of people up at Manor, Oakwood Plaza, and I've seen a lot of things that have any living conditions that are just not right. There are fire hazards that people can get in their apartments, but can't get out. Ended up getting locked in. I've seen people with holes over their over their tubs, as you can see directly up above into somebody's toilet. Tub right above them. They said there's asbestos in one building. All of those buildings were built around the same time. So what thinks that all of those buildings doesn't have asbestos? You got kids coming around here worried about the police running up on the grass. I'm sitting out there one day talking to a couple of friends, and a cop rides up the walkway like he's Fast and Furious doing Tokyo Drift. I'm sitting there looking like I get a little shook, and I kind of step off to the side. He starts burning out in the grass and all of this stuff, and his kids, he sees people standing there and little kids running around and pays no attention to it. It's like, I don't know what these police are doing. I don't know what Oakwood Plaza is doing about the maintenance and the upkeep of these buildings, but it seems like nobody's doing anything, because it seems like the same things keep happening, and people keep saying things about it. People start to feel like this is becoming redundant. What's the point of saying something if nobody's going to do anything about it?
Yeah.
Honestly, the police harassing you. I came in the building to visit a female friend. I'm coming downstairs. Next thing you know, I'm getting my genitals grabbed, my boxers pulled like 3-4 times.
Rip somebody.
Rip somebody, drove off pants, beating these guys. Half to death. Got people in the hallway screaming, asking for help. And people scared to step out of their houses because the police is going to jump on them or run in their house and throw something bogus on them or do something to them. These people are afraid of the police. These police are acting like bullies, physically and mentally bullying these people.
Yep.
That's not right at all.
Now it'll be messed.
Somebody, especially if you have something different to add and really would like to hear it, because
What you want to hear?
Let that sister speak right there. Let that sister speak right there.
He came to my house last Saturday. They fixed my bathrooms 5 times. He took pictures of my house, not yet. It's Tuesday.
You didn't give your name and address.
Alicia Washington, 220 Parker Road. I still have mushrooms coming from my ceiling. He came Saturday. It's still the same way. My bathroom is not usable. It smells like sewer. It smells so bad. My kids can't even get in the tub. I have 2 bathrooms, one the shower and one is the tub. The tub bathroom is not workable. I still have pictures. They still ain't come. I talked to the new manager. He told me there's other things on his mind that he got to handle, like tearing down the building. What is the problem by having somebody just put another piece of sheetrock like he did all the other 5 times and covering the hole?
That's the problem, though.
It's mushrooms. He has pictures. He came to my house last Saturday to take pictures. I have pictures also. And it smells ridiculous. And if you come to my house, he came to my house, he knows my house is clean. So there's no need for them not to do nothing. It's just getting out of hand. Like, they're not doing anything. Just knock it down.
It's not usable.
I think it ain't gonna stop by knocking one building down. I think they need to tear all the buildings down. They moving people from one building to another worse predicament than they already was in. Some of the people in 400 didn't even have the problems that they have now in their new apartments. And they just remodeled them. You could throw paint over it and put a new sink in it, but that's not going to change the problem. Because I just moved from 380 Irvington Avenue to 220 Parker Road
Anybody
for a
else?
light problem. And now I'm here, and now my ceiling is falling in. Now I got mushrooms growing out.
No, we've had a couple of situations with people saying the same.
That's fungus. My son has a skin disease right now where he has to put cream from the water. Okay? She had one too. Over her whole body.
But take pictures.
I have pictures. I have pictures. The next step is a lawyer.
No, it should be.
Anybody that has not spoken, that has something that they like to add that hasn't been addressed already.
Anybody.
Did everybody speak?
Got one right here.
It don't have to be nothing different.
That's right.
She has something to say.
What's the address?
613, cool.
You have something different you want to add that hasn't been said already?
Listen, man, as my friend over there said before, I worked for CIS in Oakwood Plaza. I mean, a company named Omega Corporation employed us for the sole purpose of renovating the apartments that these people are now living in. And first off, let me start by saying that our time with CIS and Omega Corporation, their sole purpose was just to use us for their own little personal gain. More importantly, these people, while we're renovating the apartments, they're supposed to get all new things, you know what I mean? And most of the stuff that's in the apartment is not new. I mean, yeah, pretty much we went out to these buildings that are supposed to be renovated and tore down and took parts from them only to put them in these new apartments. You got people that got windows that can't open, fire escape windows, which is...
Say that.
I've been sick twice behind this. I went to the hospital twice in 1 month behind this. Once I had the dust and stuff from the apartments breaking them down, and it gave me an asthma attack. I also had a sinus infection, a real bad sinus infection. It's just
Weeks off from work from that.
Yeah, it's unbearable, man. It's like they pretty much just look at it and just disappear. You don't see nobody.
They ain't gonna be satisfied with somebody until we all start going to the hospital.
All right, is there anybody else that has it that would like to add something?
We all start going to the
Again, one more
doctor.
time. Is there anyone else that would like to add something that hasn't? Yeah, go ahead, you have it.
Yes, my name is Kaheem Best. I live 523 Court Street in Elizabeth, New Jersey. We speaking upon about the kids. I'm just using this for an example. Is my son just asked me. He just told me, said, "Daddy, there's officers here. That's how scared they are of police, and I don't want them to be like that." I just told him, "Don't worry about it. It ain't gonna bother you. We're in a meeting. It shouldn't be like that for the kids." For anybody, kids. I don't care what ward you in, where you lay your head at, what school, whatever. It shouldn't be, your children or no human being should be intimidated by nothing. Whereas you paying tax dollars, you paying people's salaries. Okay. And this like the woman that's speaking about the bag, but my kids live right next door to her. I witnessed her apartment. I worked for a contractor that came around. Supposed to dig little bits and pieces to the apartment just to pass. They said level 2 inspection. And this thing with the woman, Miss Kathy said 200. I told her to do the wiring. I said the wiring is messed up. He said no, just change the socket. It's all right. But he knew all the wiring in the whole place was messed up. He said, "I'm not touching that. They need an electrician. I ain't no electrician. I'm just here for level 2 inspection." That's not my job to do. My job is just to make sure they doorknobs or patch up a little fake little hole. They call themselves patching up holes in the ceilings, and it's not even patchable. Everything got to be re-teared down. Including the lady bathroom. When I said her bathroom is tore up, she can't even take showers. She can't even wash. You got wires. You got electrical wires coming out of her wall right next to the shower where the water come out of.
That's how
I pointed that out to the contractors too. They said, "Oh," and we called one of the contractors in, the head man of the contractor. He got mad at the other man for calling him in and said, "Don't call me no more. Just tell me on the phone. I don't gotta come over here." Because he ain't wanted to witness how the condition was of the apartment. And they tore up.
The whole council needs to.
There's no fixing it. There's no fixing it.
What the other council people can't.
There's nothing they can do.
All right, is there anybody else?
Yes. Can we hear
Have one or
from
two more
you?
people speak, and then that.
Can we hear from those that are concerned? You know, let us know how you feel about what we said to you in a couple of minutes.
Well, I'll be after the last person speaks, then I'll say something, and I'm gonna open it up so council people that were there if they want to say something. Okay?
Me too.
All right. Okay. Did you want to speak, ma'am? Say something.
No, they told you the truth. You heard.
Anyone else? Anyone wish to address the council at this time?
There's a lady coming in, she may want to speak.
Joanne, you want to say something?
Anybody else wishing to address city council at this time?
What's your complaint?
Okay.
Miss Jones, you want to sit down?
Okay, one more time. Anybody else wishing to address city council at this time?
If you don't say it now, you're not going to be able to.
See, I'll close the public speaking portion of the meeting. Okay, well, no, what I would like to say, we do hear, now if you guys will listen to us, okay? I mean, we do hear what you're saying, you know, we know it's not easy. We know you guys have been dealing with this for a long time now. Now, while maybe Councilman Cedeno has been dealing with it for a while, maybe Councilwoman Perkins-Auguste, now recently Councilman Grover went over, the rest of us didn't know what was going on. This has been in the making for years now. You know, we're just getting the wind of this, and we're trying to do the best that we can to address it, whether it's through our health department, whether it's through our police department, because unfortunately, I'm sorry the gentleman feels that, you know, I'm being insensitive, but I'm not. I'm trying to run the meeting, and if we run the meeting in a certain order, you have to run it that way. And this is the way that they run, unfortunately, okay? And I am gonna make an allowance, you know, if the council people, after I finish, they wanna say something that has been over there, you know, wanna say something. At the last meeting, Councilman Cedeno said something, Councilman Perkins-Auguste, I don't know if Councilman Grover went on to add something now that he's been there. But we have been trying. We've reached out to our health department. I've reached out to our police department. I've reached out to the management company because I'm trying to get a meeting with them so this way they can come in and meet with us and tell us what they're doing, tell us what they plan to do, why haven't they addressed some of these issues or concerns that you have. You know, I know our health department, while they haven't addressed a lot of concerns, there's a lot of things that they have been out to and that they also have addressed. Because I've been in touch with our health director about, you know, what they've been trying to do. The only thing, it's overwhelming, I think. You know, what's going on here over at your thing. If we could say, tear the buildings down, you don't think we would say that? We don't have that kind of power. We're council, yeah. And I'm the president right now. But it could have been Councilwoman Perkins-Auguste. It could have been Councilman Cedeno. And we rotated. Next year it'll be somebody else, and the year after that somebody else.
But this year is you, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just explaining to you. You know how it works.
He's seen it.
You know?
If you want to do what Carlson did, you did it. Somebody with regular clothes and see, so they don't know who you is, you will see what's going on.
That's Councilman Cedeno's ward, so he's supposed to do that. Okay?
like-
The other council people that are at large, they're supposed to do that. Okay? But we work together.
Eventually, it's
We all-
basically like we are
So
dying.
you gotta understand, we all
You know
work
what I mean?
together.
Because we gotta live against the fungus. We gotta live
You know?
amongst the mold, and they gotta have the rent.
We have
You
three
understand what I'm
people.
saying?
And you
That's
guys-
shit.
Okay, wait, all right, I don't want to continue getting into this with each individual person. Right now, I just wanted to, it's my turn to speak.
Let the president
You've had
speak,
an opportunity to speak, now it's our turn to speak, you know, and I hope you listen, okay? Because it's not easy, you know, I know it's not easy for you guys, it's not easy for us either. And we are trying, and the part of what we're doing is that. We're reaching out to different people, other council members, they went out to see themselves what's going on, so we're trying to work together here to see what we can do to try to better your situation. It's not that we don't care, it's not that I'm insensitive, and that, you know, not at all. I'm a social worker by profession, I work with people all the time. You know, but this is not an easy situation for anybody, for you guys or us. You know, we don't like it any more than you do, but we have to wait, and we have to deal with the management company just like you do. You know, I'm waiting for them right now, like I said, and the Councilwoman knows I even wrote a letter, you know, asking for them to come so they can meet with us. So, because I want to see what they're doing and what they plan to do, why they haven't met with you, you know, let you know what's going on, why you're not using the community rooms, why they took the washing machines away, why they have all these other problems that they're having. You know, I know, just so you know also, because I know a little bit of the history, you know, about this, and they had other plans with this. My understanding is they never had planned to manage these buildings. Originally, before Corzine lost, he was going to put in money with the state, but when the Governor Christie came in, he took out the money that he was going to put in to help rehabilitate all those buildings. So as a result, they got stuck now, and I know, you know, from what I hear, that they're trying to do the best they can. They're not into the management of buildings. They're into developing buildings. So, but we still, that doesn't mean that they should be neglecting you guys.
Exactly.
You know, that doesn't mean that they should be doing it. So this is why I'm trying to get them to come in, to meet with us, and see what they plan to do, and see what we could do together to better the situation. You know, and if it means tearing them down, we'll suggest that to them. Doesn't mean that they're gonna follow our recommendation, you know? Because, I mean, yeah, we're the city council, and that, but we only have so much authority here. Okay, so now Councilman Grover would like to say something, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I I had the pleasure of visiting Ms. Wallace and probably half the folks here on Saturday. And I said this, at least repeated at least 3 or 4 times that day. Brother Sammy and Sean, you guys did a great job in bringing this issue to this body. Because before you did that, I can tell you that there, as the president mentioned earlier, a lot of us did not know what was going on. And that's why I chose to go there myself. Okay. There's a lot of conditions going on. I know your situation. We talked to the manager, or site manager that day. She was in the hallway. We chased her down, and I got an answer for you: is that they're going through the treatment of the bed bugs, and they don't want to move you to another place, or else the bed bugs will go with you. So Ms. Wallace's church, Ms. Wallace's church and I are going to work together to try to get you new furniture for another apartment. They have an apartment for you, and then they'll move you there. Okay, that's what's going on with that. Okay. That's only one apartment, okay? And the bedroom with the ceiling missing. Okay. What I did was, when I was going there with Councilman Cedeno, is I made a list of every single issue that I dealt with. Okay. I got names, I got apartment, I got unit numbers. I put together a very detailed list, which I've sent to management. Okay. And I'm hoping that, with time, and we got to be reasonable about it. They're not going to fix every single problem like that, okay? But with time, that they will address it. Council President mentioned a good point. This grant money that we're talking about before doesn't exist anymore. Okay? Governor Christie decided that that Oakwood Plaza project, that whole grant money that was dedicated to that project, is not important to him. Okay? So he took it away. So all of the concept of the vouchers and everything else that was going to be in place to make this project what it was originally intended to be doesn't exist anymore. So now you're back at square one. And unfortunately, this management company, and I don't want to stand up to them, but you gotta also be reasonable. Okay? They took over a building and a development a year ago and inherited problems that have been going on for a lot longer than a year. Okay?
Also back
And a lot of stuff. Okay, so my intent, just so that everybody knows, and Council President and I are going to sit and we're going to go over, I'm going to report to him as to what I found on Saturday. We're going to put a very detailed letter of all of the issues that I identified that have to be addressed. Bring it to management's attention. We're going to ask them to please try to address these within a reasonable period of time. Okay? Now, a couple things that I came to learn. Number one, any of you ever have an issue in your apartment, a work order should be done in writing. Okay? You have to stop making the phone call. Write it down, send a copy to management, keep a copy for yourself so you have some proof that the request was made. That's the first thing. And I'll give you, that's free advice. Okay? Number two, if there is deplorable conditions, you really, and somebody mentioned it before, you really should seek legal counsel. Okay? Not because I'm an attorney and want the business, because I don't want your business. I'm just telling you that from my personal experience, the conditions that some of you are living in require you. I suggest you, I urge you, get legal counsel. Okay? It's deplorable what you're going through. I've been there, I saw it. Okay? Do not live another day without having somebody represent you.
Even if you gotta hold back your rent before they come fix it.
The point I'm trying, the reason why I made this statement, we're a city council.
Hold your rent until they come
Miss,
fix
please,
it.
let me finish. We're the city council of this. We don't own the building, we don't manage the building. Okay? We're not, except for me and one other or two other, most of us are not attorneys. We're not going to represent you. Okay? Your anger should be directed to the right person. Okay? Which is management. All we can do as your political representatives is relay your hardship to them. And we will. And I promise you I will. Okay? But they may not listen to us. Because we don't own the building. They do. Okay? And all I'm going to ask you to do is just trust me when I say this to you. When you have a complaint, put it in writing to them, attach the pictures, okay? And get yourselves attorneys. All I'm gonna ask you. In the meantime, for those that I did visit, I promise you, and I say it again, I'm glad that you brought this to our attention, Sean, Sammy, and we will continue to bring those issues to management under the letterhead of the City Council of Elizabeth. And we will do that. And on your end, you guys gotta do what I asked you. Okay? And my hope, and I know we're gonna work on this, one of the things I also am requesting of management is that they meet with you guys directly. We shouldn't be in the middle. Okay? If you're familiar with downtown, I've been councilman downtown for the last 16 years. When we removed the Pioneer Homes in McGlory Manor and put the townhomes in Hope 6, we went through many, many hundreds of meetings with the residents and getting that project over a period of 7 years to be completed. Okay? It wasn't overnight, but everybody knew what was going on every week. Okay? And that's what needs to be done now. Now that the original plan is out the window and that grant money doesn't exist, I think that management and the residents, not everybody, because it's a big meeting, but at least 10 or 15 key people from key buildings sit with management and work out a strategic way that this will improve going forward. Okay? And that's what we're going to try to suggest to management. Okay? Thank you.
Councilwoman.
I just wanted to say, in addition to that, I'm going to be working with Bill Jones from the Elizabeth Housing Authority, who was very successful in transforming our Pioneer McGlory Manor, because we need someone who has done this before. And Mr. Jones and his staff, they know how to, I guess, give the Section 8 vouchers for those who want to move out. I really truly believe that 3 of the buildings need to be totally demolished. Because they're totally they're totally, I believe, not able to be rehabilitated.
Yes.
And so I'm going to be talking with Mr. Jones tomorrow. I already spoke to the mayor, and I said some of the buildings need to be torn down because some of them are totally deplorable. I went into your apartment with your grandmother, and no one should be living there. No one should be living there. You know, it should be condemned. In the meantime, we're going to be working on this plan that Councilman Grover stated. But I'm going to be working with Mr. Jones and say, there needs to be some collaboration with some funding and working with the Housing Authority to see what they can offer in terms of their housing stock. Maybe some people can move in Maravalac Manor or some of the other properties that CSI owns in the city of Elizabeth, which is down on 1st Street. But no one should be living. I'm sorry. I mean, you can't really cover it up.
No. No more.
Right, no more. Right, you really can't because it's deplorable. And the grandmother sitting in the back room.
What?
And the bathroom, no hygiene can take place in that bathroom. I mean, you can't even use the toilet. So no one less brush your teeth, wash your face.
The sink is about to fall off.
Yeah, right. You can't even touch it. And then in the kitchen sink that Sean showed me. Yeah. So how can you cook? How can you wash your meats and your vegetables? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So we're gonna continue to talk, and we know the funding was pulled back. But then what happens to the people? And what happened, so we...
Nobody cares.
Right. No, we do care.
No, not y'all.
Yeah, no, but...
Not y'all.
Right. It's just everyone's in a tough situation, but the tenants, you're in the toughest of situations.
It's like being homeless and still having a home, like...
Right, exactly. I think some squatter positions probably look better than what we witnessed, Councilman.
And we're forced to live in it.
Yeah. and paying rent. So I'm going to be working with Bill Jones and see what he can come up with. He's very articulate when it comes to public housing and how to transform it. And that's what we need. We need a total transformation of the housing stock. And you know, keep coming, because you know we should not forget. You know,
How many
we should not
files did you
hope.
back?
Sure.
The young lady, which one did have the bad bathroom? This you?
Yes.
With the mold and all?
Yes.
Listen to what Councilman Grover just mentioned. Seek legal advice. Hire your attorney, okay? Make sure you get an attorney.
Legal aid will give
Legal aid, yeah. Get legal advice. Because, you know, you shouldn't be living in it. And don't think, I hope all of you hear me. Don't think that we all don't care. We really care. We hear your concern. But like Councilman Grover said, we kind of like over here, and they're the people that run the place, and we just kind of like court. But we're going to do everything we possibly can to help you guys. And matter of fact, what he had mentioned, I met with two young ladies last week before last, and I mentioned to them about meeting and forming a block watch. Whether you, well, you never called me. You never called me.
Because I didn't get the 5 people.
Oh, well, I didn't. Well, I asked you to call me, and I said, that's exactly what he was just discussing. That's what I discussed with you 2 weeks ago, remember? Yeah, exactly. I want us to meet so we could form that group, but you don't need everybody. You need just about 5 or 6 people to meet with them. And like Councilman Brewer said, and you guys put a strategic plan together and try to come up with what you want to do.
But
that's
they
how they
had
did
that
it.
before. They had, but they closed them out of the community.
One of us need to be with them.
Get your own tenant association
They had
together.
one. They had nowhere to meet.
Yeah, but they want us to meet with them, Councilman.
They wanted them to meet. Brother Sammy.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to meet with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you need to meet, if we got to get your room here to meet, you can meet in this room.
Yeah, we'll
schedule
meet
this
with
room for you.
you. Yeah.
That you start meeting, you start strategizing.
I forgot who I knew it is.
It's been out of order, but my pastor has,
Part of that before the tenant
my pastor
association
has
as well.
stated that if we do need to meet, that we can meet at one of the Tellison rooms at my church.
Okay, all right.
Which is located on.
So maybe can you two work together to get,
You guys work together.
can you two work together to get?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, you have to go that far. You can meet here. It's a public building.
I just want to share real quick, and I'm going to be quick just because I see little man sleeping. He's probably on his 3rd dream. But just want to really appreciate, I really appreciate all of you coming out. I want to especially thank Sammy as well for everything he has done. And I just want to be very candid. In my opinion, the management is horrible. Just to give you an example, when the community room in the back, when they got rid of Shoemate, I went up to the management and I was like, look, we have to continue doing things for the youth. And I volunteered Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I was running a youth program back there for about 6 months. And then the management kicked me out. The management was like, we don't want this here, just because it's like, just, you know, the kids hanging out, this and that. And then I went and I told management, it's like, you know, this basketball court has to be together with the kids. I painted those basketball lines. And I told them that I was going to put up, like, the basketball hoops. And the manager was like, nope, we don't want basketball hoops.
Because they don't.
And I just wanted, those are 2 examples of many. The management has promised so many meetings with you guys, and they haven't come through. So I think one of the biggest things is communication. And you know how Nelson, I think Manny mentioned before, is, you know, it's privately owned. You know, we could do everything we can from the outside, but I mean, they kicked me out.
But they all be sitting there when it's time for them to put somebody out for their rent. They all be sitting just like that.
They all be standing out there paying for
That's why I said,
In a manner, you gotta really dress up, just come regular. they might not notice some of you guys, like, except for the president, because he is known, like, the top of y'all, but it's some people that you really dress up and come and just talk and ask them a question, and you will see how smart they get with the residents. Like, you really can't say that.
How I just fast to keep telling you to wait, and after 15 minutes.
The same way he had to chase her down, that's how you think the residents feel when he a city official.
I just want to let you know. I just want to let you know that we have heard what you're saying, and we're going to do everything we can from our standpoint, from small things to big things. But the major thing is to strengthen your voice.
One quick question. One quick question. Then I'll turn. How do you guys pay your rent? Do you guys?
We want to mail it. I bring mine over there to them and let them.
If you guys seek advice, legal advice.
Could we get an escrow account and then all be on strike and they won't get nothing until you go to court? How they trying to
Get legal advice before you do that.
You need legal advice on that. Okay, don't put you out, but you need legal advice.
That's what they want you to do so they can put you out. Very bad.
Mr. President, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that City Council was quiet not only tonight, but also a couple of weeks ago when you came before City Council, is because, as you see, the President has a pattern of conducting a meeting, and even if I raise my hand or she raise her hand, the President says, we have to follow rules and regulation. And also, I would like to thank you for coming and share. We know this problem existed for many, many years. And that's why we voted to allocate the money. We voted to come up with a project. We voted to give you people the best that was up there to renovate, to come up something so you have to live like a human being. And there were millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars allocated. Unfortunately, politics works in strange ways. Somebody was not the governor, he lost the election, and as the council lady, the councilman mentioned, was caught. And this company, CIS or CSI, whatever they call them, they got stuck with whatever money to take care of whatever contract they signed up. At one time when they came to a meeting, if I'm not mistaken, they were ready to pull out, but there was too much at stake involved. So let's put it this way: you guys deserve the best. You deserve to be relocated. We should actually get in touch with our president, the federal government, to our Senate, United States senators. You shouldn't be living like this. You are part of us. I live in Elizabeth, you live in Elizabeth, so you're part of us. Your children go to school, I'm an educator. You deserve to live in a comfortable home. There's a plenty empty home in Elizabeth, throughout Elizabeth. So you could go any place in Elizabeth as long as they give you that piece of paper. And I'm sure Patricia, she's right. And many of the council mentioned, I don't know how many legal attorneys they're going to do volunteer, but I'm sure God is going to work out, open up somebody's brain and say, okay, we're going to work for you. But the lady back there, the lady from the association, you got to get the people together.
Get them together.
And, you know, your councilman over here, he's your leader, right here. And you got 3 at large helping you out too, so it's a plus. And this could be done together. Together. It's not that we don't want to have it. Together we're going to win. Right? And that's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So that'll be, is that it? Anybody else has anything else? Yeah, okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess, because we have to continue with the rest of the city business, so we'll take a 5-minute recess.